fire away.
What's Jamarr practice today?
We'll see.
At what point is there a certain time that he needs to practice in order for y'all to feel good about him playing?
Yeah, we'll see. We're not there yet.
But is there a deadline that even exists?
We'll see.
If Jamarr didn't practice, what would he be listed on the injury report?
It's a great question. We'd find out, I guess, if that were to happen.
What are the challenges of a guy not practicing all week and then playing on game day?
Well, we deal with this all the time with injuries. You know, where guys are limited through the week or don't practice during the week. And our guys have always done a great job in the meetings of being responsible for it. I think we do a good job teaching that, walking through it. So, again, there's a lot of ways to get people ready to play in a game.
Throughout this process, you've been confident in the dialogue you've had with Jamarr. Is that still the case today?
Yes.
What is interesting or different about the Patriots now with their new coach, and what are your general thoughts on?
That's a great question. You know, it's a great question because it is a new coaching staff in a sense. Obviously, offensively with AVP and Bob Ignell, two guys that have worked here, really good coaches. They've got other coaches on their staff that do an excellent job. So, again, they'll have their own identity. It could be different than what they've done in the past. Obviously, they've been a lot of places where they've had a lot of success. So that's one of the challenges of week one is trying to get your best guess on what you're going to see, but being ready to adjust to the skill sets they have. Defensively, you know, their coaching staff has really been there. You know, these guys have been there. They've grown up in that system. They've played in the system. They've coached in the system. They're really good at coaching it. Again, they're always going to have some tweaks that we're going to have to adjust to during the course of the game. They do a great job with their flexibility, using their personnel in a lot of different ways. And so, and then special teams wise, they've always done an excellent job as well. You know, I know Darren's got a lot of respect. So it's a really challenging team to play against, and you've just got to make adjustments as the game starts week one.
Is the challenge of that system, for lack of a better term, the Belichick system, is there and you went against it in the Super Bowl, is it that versatility, trying to figure out what they're going to do with it?
Yeah, I think, you know, multiple is a word I don't love when you're talking about a system, but it really does fit what they do. They can use personnel and give you multiple looks based on that personnel, and you can't really get too in-depth here on what that means, but they do a good job coaching the technique. Their players are always very fundamentally sound. That's been something that's been tried and true with them since I was in that division starting in 2012. And so, again, a lot of respect for how they teach the system, how they execute the system, getting the most out of their players. They've always done an excellent job in that area, and I expect that to remain unchanged.
Zach, it's been a couple of weeks since that Cold Story practice, and you kind of managed Trent Brown's snaps in those practices. Is he involved enough where you are confident you can get through a full game?
I feel good. Yeah, I feel good about where he's at, what his communication's been leading up to game week. It's kind of all led to this point right here, and so far so good.
Zach, when it comes to Amarius Mims, what have you seen in his progression and just kind of where he is?
Yeah, just continue to get him some work and make sure we feel comfortable where he's at.
In a game week, if you'd be willing to share, what has been different about Dan Pitcher's responsibilities as opposed to when he was in his role last year?
Well, I mean, he's taken on way more of the base down stuff, you know, whereas previously his primary responsibility was third down, and then it bled over into other areas, but now he's got to direct, you know, the base down stuff, and that's run and pass, getting with Frank, and then bringing it to me. And so he's really done a good job delegating responsibilities, how he sees it, in order for him to get the work done. He puts in a lot of hard work. He's a tremendous worker. I've got a lot of respect for the thoughts he has. And then he gets me coached up, and I've got my own ideas, and then the plan gets cemented. You know, and it evolves over the course of the week. Things we just changed in the walkthrough, things will change after practice. But Dan has done a really good job fitting into the flow of what I need, because as the play caller, I've got to feel comfortable as the week goes, and Dan has done a really good job of delegating and getting all the responsibilities done so that we all feel comfortable.
He said that he can best help you by being up in the group.
Yeah.
What do you like that your offensive coordinators can see from up there that directly helps you on the field?
You can see all 22. I can't see all 22. I can't see the far side of the field. I can't see anything that happens at a far pylon. You know, the fans know better than I do. So he's up there and he can see a bigger picture of just coverage structures in drives, because now we've got pictures. We've always had pictures post-drive, so you can look through and see it post-drive, but the flexibility to be able to make adjustments as the drive's going, he can see that and help with that. Brian always did that. Pitch will do that. I've got a lot of trust with the information he's given me.
Zach, I know it's different opponents, different years, but as you look back at the last couple of years, week one, is there anything that you look back to as far as the unknowns that can happen in a week one game?
Well, you just got to be ready to adjust as the game goes, because you never know with 100% certainty what you're going to see, how they're going to utilize their personnel. Same goes for us. So again, that's the unknowns of week one.
There's been a lot made over the years about how this team has started slow the first couple weeks of the season. Why do you think this year's team is in a better spot in terms of that?
Well, I can't make any predictions, but we had a great training camp. This team's ready to go. We're ready to play. You know, I'm happy we've got these last 3 days of work to get in there, but I think this team's really chomping at the bit to go out there and play against a real opponent in a real game. We're as prepared as we're going to be, and so I'm just excited to watch these guys let it loose and go play.
What's been the most encouraging thing about Joe Burrow's progress from the start of camp to date?
I just think it's been good to have him out there for the month of August, you know, and so we can operate our offense the way we want to do it with our starting quarterback, develop the chemistry with all the other guys. We've got new guys, Zach Moss, Kasecki, you know, so there's new guys that are in the mix too that he's done a great job bringing up to speed, and so I'm just excited to see where our offense can go from there.
Burrow, does he look all the way back to you?
He looks great to me.
You put Zach Moss as the number one running back on the depth chart. Is that an indication that he'll get more reps than Chase Brown, or are you still planning for it to be almost 50-50 split?
Yeah, you can ask PJ and Emily. My favorite thing in the world is talk about the depth chart, which I pay no attention to whatsoever. And we've got a lot of players that are all starters. It can depend on what personnel grouping we have on the field the first play of the game. So to me, it's meaningless. I know we have to do it. I put no time into it because I think we got a lot of players that are capable of being starting players for us. And same as guys that run out the tunnel. Sometimes that's a lot of unnecessary angst on my part. You know, we got many guys that could be fitting that role, and sometimes as a head coach, you just got to point to one and
Zach, I know
test them.
I know it can be hard to gauge sometimes, but how motivated would you say this team is? Because talking with guys inside the locker room, they do harken back to last year a lot about.
They put in a lot of work, and so when you put in a lot of work, you're hungry, and that's I don't know what the right word is. Motivated. It's just there's an urgency to get out there and play and put our best foot forward, and guys that put in the work and they know that, and so there's a confidence that comes with that. It's not a lot of hope. It's not, man, I hope we can do this. I hope we can do that. We know we've got the pieces and we've put in the work, and now I just have to go execute it.
Coaches, this is varied of an offense you've had since you've been here as far as being able to interchange players, your backs, your tight end, receivers.
I think there's a lot of versatility and a lot of depth, and so that allows you flexibility to move people around and make the offense the best we can make it. So again, we got to go out there and do it. We want to dictate what the defense does. There will be times where defense dictates what we do, and that's football. But I think we have the flexibility to be able to make those adjustments if we need to.
Are you hoping for any kind of finite resolution regarding Jamar's situation by the end of this week?
I'm not making any predictions. I'm just taking it day to day. Okay, thank you.
Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.